Hey all, and welcome back to Fuzzy Ducksy Gaming, and the first video of a series where I'm looking to see how easy and quick it is to farm 100 Divine Profit on a fairly budget Smite character. The build guide is in the video description if anyone's interested. It was around 10 to 12 Divines at the time to put the character together. When I say 100 Divines Profit, I mean 100 Divine Orbs in my stash tab. This is not going to be me valuing a ton of junk that I'm never going to sell or takes too much time to sell. I'm only going to include what I sell. The first strategy we're going to look at is a smash and grab Delirium mirror farm, focusing on getting as many rewards and Delirium orbs as possible and not really bothering about simulacrum splinters. I want to be in and out of the maps in under 2.5 minutes on average. The idea is to run through the mirror, get to 6 rewards, then kill the boss to get to 7 rewards, loot and leave, and then rinse and repeat. The reason for not really being concerned about splinters is that the way to get big splinters is to run straight long maps like Strand or Tropical Island and take nodes and scarabs to increase the levels of delirium the further you get from the mirror. And on my budget character, I gave it a test. It makes maps too difficult. I survived, but it took me a long time to kill the enemies when I got towards the end of the map, and I felt just running in and out of maps quickly is going to make me more profit. For that reason, I've deliberately picked maps where the boss spawns close to the mirror so that I won't notice the increase in difficulty. I'm going to cover off why this matters when we go over the scarabs, but distance to mirror, after testing, really only seems to affect the amount of simulacrum splinters you get, and the Deli Orbs I've found are tied to the number of rewards that you get. The tree is going to be in the video description, but it's basically any of the Deli nodes that make it easier and give us a chance to get more rewards and more Delirium Orbs. Outside of that, we're just boosting it up with altars, scarabs, map nodes, and then map implicit nodes. You ideally want to run 2 connected maps, as this will ensure you can self-sustain and you don't have to spend currency on maps. You can honestly pick any 2 maps that you want, but ideally these should be maps where you know where the boss will spawn, as it's important that the boss dies within the delirium. I went City Square and Toxic Sewer, my standard ping pong maps for the league. I started with just 10 city squares, I ran 50 maps and I never ran out of city square maps, but I did drop plenty of Toxic Sewers just in case I needed to run my connected map. You want a fairly strict loot filter, which I forgot to do, as you want to ensure you're hiding low oils, cheap currencies and screaming essences, as they take too long to pick up and don't sell well in bulk without trading them up to the next level, which takes time, and even then you're not going to get a ton of currency out of it. Considering we want to be in and out of maps within 2.5 minutes, cutting down picking up these lower level currencies should actually make me earn more currency per hour. I've put an updated loot filter in the video description, which you can use if you want to play along. In terms of the setup, it's a chiseled and out map, 1 Delirium Scarab, 3 Delirium Scarabs of Paranoia, which each one gives you 2 more rewards at the start, and then 1 Delirium Scarab of Mania, which makes your rewards go up 100% quicker, but it makes the mirror distance increase, which makes it difficult, which is why I'm picking maps where the boss is really central. I actually started with just 2 Scarabs of Paranoia to try and keep the cost down, but once I got to map 16, I actually realised how much it was making Delirium Orbs drop, that it made sense to get as many in as we can, so the end was 3 Paranoia Scarabs, 1 Mania Scarab and 1 Deli Scarab for maps 16 to 50. I will say I'm not sure that altars are worth it, as it does slow you down a bit, you pick up currency that maybe isn't worth it, and you can put things that are dangerous on the map. So I'll be tempted to put something else in, like maybe shrines, or you could take all of the delirium nodes to force it into the map, and that means you can put in yet another Scarab of Paranoia, which gives you even more rewards and even more delirium orbs. So let's move on to the loot from the 50 maps. This is what my Wealthy Exile has tracked, and it records the loot at 33 divines. There's a few important things to note, however. I'm not going to be including maps in the profit, as I'm not going to sell them, but what I will do is feed them to my map runners, and then I'll get them to generate currency for me in the next episode. There's also a lot of small things I've picked up that I'm never realistically going to sell, so they won't be included. There are plus points, however. Deli Orbs are tracked on Wealthy Exile at 4 to 5 chaos, and we dropped an absolute ton of them. I sold all the bad ones on the exchange for a minimum of 10c each, fairly quickly within 10 to 15 minutes, and I got more for things like divination, currency, and scarabs. So realistically, there's probably another 5-6 divines sitting in there in Delirium Orbs that aren't tracked from Wealthy Exile. So after I liquidated the majority of the loot that I could be bothered to sell quickly on either trade or the exchange, my tab looked like this. I still have a few more things to sell. I'm going to feed the boss maps to my map runners to bring back the fragment, and all of my red maps that I'm not going to run again are just going to go to my map runners, and they should generate me at least a divine in profit, and I've got about half a divine's worth of stuff still to sell. So overall the tab should be about 34 raw divines by the time we've finished. I'm going to take the 4 divines off, which was the cost of the strategy. Leaves me with 30 divines from the first strategy, which is great. We're aiming for 100. We're already 3/10 of the way there. This leaves you a profit per map of about 110 chaos. These maps, as I said, are 2.5 minutes to complete, and they're not difficult to do. You just run around the outside of the map, get to 6 layers of rewards, go in, kill the boss, end the deli, portal out, go in, do your next map. If you just do these map after map after map, you can easily do 20 to 25 in an hour, but judge it by how many maps you do. Don't expect to do 20 maps an hour if you know you're never going to. Even if you were only going to do 10 maps in an hour, that's still over 1100 chaos profit for those maps. Well worth doing, even if you're someone who likes to, AFK between their maps. So overall, I think it's been a really, really good strategy and quite a surprising one. It came about accidentally, as I said, because I wanted to farm the maps that are really linear to get the Simulacrum Splinters back, but turning them over quicker has definitely, for me anyway, on this character, generated a lot more profit. That's really it for the video. I want to make these nice and short and sweet. I'm going to put all the currency that I'm carrying over into a separate currency tab so we can carry it over to the next episode. We'll obviously use that to buy any supplies that we have to for the next mapping strategy. The Atlas tree is in the video description, along with the loot filter and the video guide for the character that I played this strategy on. Thank you very much for watching. Take care and see you in the next one.